Good evening, everybody. Let me tell y'all something. Sometimes the best thing you can do is say nothing at all. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, right? In a world where everybody's talking, where people run their mouths just to hear themselves speak, silence is power. Silence is strategy. Silence is confusing. See, people expect you to react. They expect you to argue, to explain yourself, to defend your dreams, to prove your worth. But listen to me. When you stay quiet, when you just keep moving, when you let your success do the talking, you throw them off. Silence is power. In a world where everyone is rushing to speak, to be heard, to prove themselves, those who understand the value of silence hold an undeniable advantage. Silence is not weakness, it is not ignorance, it is not submission. Silence is control, it is intention, it is the ability to dictate the pace of a conversation, a situation, and even a life. People who master silence don't just communicate less, they communicate strategically. When you are silent, you force others to fill in the gaps. They start guessing what you're thinking, assuming what you might do next. And in that moment of uncertainty, you become the one in control. People are uncomfortable with what they don't understand, and silence creates that discomfort. It makes them question themselves, their words, their actions. The ability to stay silent in the right moments can turn any situation in your favor. Consider an argument. Most people think winning an argument means out-talking the other person, proving a point, or raising their voice to establish dominance. But real power comes from restraint. When someone expects a reaction and you give them nothing, it throws them off. They get frustrated. They start stumbling over their own words, looking for ways to pull you into their chaos. But when you refuse to engage, when you simply observe and let them wear themselves out, they lose all the power they thought they had. Think about the most successful people, the strongest leaders, the most respected individuals. They don't do a lot of unnecessary talking. They aren't out here explaining every move, justifying every decision, or reacting to every little thing. They move in silence. They make decisions without seeking validation. They let their actions do all the talking. And in doing so, they demand respect without even asking for it. Silence is also a tool for observation. When you are quiet, you notice things that others miss. You pick up on body language, on tone, on hidden intentions. You see who is genuine and who is pretending. You understand what is really being said beyond just words. Most people are too busy talking to pay attention, but those who remain silent gain information, and information is one of the greatest forms of power there is. When you walk into a room and don't immediately reveal everything about yourself, you create an aura of mystery. People want to know more. They want to understand you, to figure you out. And the moment they want something from you, the power shifts. You are no longer chasing approval or attention. It is coming to you. Silence is not just about what you withhold from others. It's also about what you give to yourself. When you stop speaking just to fill space, you create room for clarity, for focus, for self-reflection. You begin to separate what truly matters from what is just noise. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intelligently. You stop wasting energy on meaningless debates and start directing that energy toward your goals. There is power in not revealing your plans, in not explaining yourself to those who are only looking for ways to tear you down. When you move in silence, you eliminate unnecessary resistance. People can't block what they don't see coming. They can't prepare for something they don't even know exists. The loudest person in the room might get the most attention, but the quietest person is the one making moves that no one expects. Even in personal relationships, silence can be a game changer. When someone disrespects you, they expect anger, frustration, or a defensive response. But when you simply walk away, when you refuse to engage, it leaves them unsettled. It makes them question themselves. It shows them that their words and actions have no control over your emotions. There is strength in choosing when to speak and when to stay silent. It is not about never expressing yourself. It is about doing so with purpose. Every word you say should serve a purpose. Every response should be intentional. Those who talk just to talk waste their breath. But those who speak only when necessary command attention. Silence is not passivity. It is not avoidance. It is strategy. It is wisdom. It is knowing that sometimes the best response is no response at all. People expect a reaction. That's just how the world works. From the moment you wake up, you're surrounded by situations, people, and events that demand your attention, your energy, and most importantly, your response. Whether it's a disagreement, an insult, a challenge, or even praise, people are conditioned to expect something back from you. They want to see your emotions, your frustration, your excitement. They want proof that they have affected you in some way. And that expectation, that's where the real power lies. Human nature is built around interaction. When someone does or says something, they anticipate a certain kind of feedback. They want validation, confirmation, resistance, or at the very least, acknowledgement. If they insult you, they want to see you get angry. If they provoke you, they want to watch you lose your cool. If they question your decisions, they expect you to defend yourself. But what happens when you give them nothing? When you refuse to play the game? When you don't react the way they thought you would? That's when you start to shift the balance of power in your favor. Silence, stillness, and an unreadable expression throw people off. They expect you to be predictable, but when you aren't, they become uncomfortable. The more they expect a reaction and don't get one, the more uncertain they become. They start doubting themselves. They start wondering if they miscalculated, if they underestimated you, if they were wrong about how much control they had over you. And uncertainty, that is a powerful tool. Think about the last time someone said something that got under your skin. Maybe they criticized your choices, made a joke at your expense, or tried to embarrass you in front of others. Your instinct was probably to fire back, to correct them, to make sure they knew you weren't to be messed with. But the second you did that, you gave them exactly what they wanted, a reaction. They now knew they had an effect on you, that their words had weight, that they got inside your head. Now imagine if instead you had simply looked at them, given them a slight nod, and moved on as if their words held no value. That moment of silence would have done more damage than any comeback ever could, because now they're the ones left thinking, wondering, second-guessing. Did you not hear them? Did you not care? Are you planning something? That doubt, that confusion, that loss of control, it unsettles people. And when people are unsettled, they make mistakes. The same applies in any situation where emotions run high. In arguments, most people think the loudest person wins, but the real winner is always the one who remains composed, the one who doesn't let emotions dictate their actions, the one who keeps their energy reserved while everyone else wastes theirs. When you don't react the way someone expects, you force them to carry the weight of their own words and action. Instead of engaging in a battle you didn't need to fight, you make them deal with the silence they never saw coming. This doesn't mean you should never respond to anything. It means you should choose your responses wisely. If something doesn't serve your purpose, if it doesn't elevate you, If it doesn't push you forward, then why waste time on it? Not everything deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Sometimes the best way to handle negativity, doubt, or provocation is to let it sit unanswered. People will test you. They will push buttons to see what makes you tick. They will create situations just to see how you handle them. But when you consistently remain unmoved, when you train yourself to stay calm when others expect chaos, you gain an edge. You set the tone. You become the one in control, the one who decides when and how to engage. The ability to control your reactions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It separates those who are led by others from those who lead themselves. The next time someone expects you to react, take a deep breath, pause, and ask yourself, do they deserve my energy, or would my silence speak louder? Let your success speak. In a world where everyone is talking, explaining, and defending their dreams, the ones who truly stand out are the ones who prove their worth through action. Words are easy. Promises are effortless. But results are undeniable. There is no argument, no debate, no explanation needed when you let your success do all the talking. People will doubt you. They will question your abilities, your vision, your path. Some will try to bring you down just to make themselves feel better. Others will wait for you to fail so they can say, I told you so. And if you spend your time trying to convince them otherwise, trying to explain why you're different, why you will make it, you're wasting energy on people who were never going to believe in you anyway. Instead of trying to prove yourself through words, prove yourself through results. Let them see what they didn't think was possible. There's something powerful about someone who moves in silence, who doesn't announce every step, who doesn't seek approval or validation before making their next move. When you stop talking about what you're going to do and just do it, you create an aura of strength. You stop needing permission, and instead you start setting the standard. People start paying attention not because you told them to, but because they can't ignore what you built. The problem with constantly explaining yourself is that it opens the door for opinions you don't need. The more you share your plans, the more people feel entitled to tell you why they won't work. The more you justify your actions, the more others will find reasons to question them. But when you stay quiet and let your progress speak for itself, you remove the opportunity for unnecessary criticism. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your goals. You don't need to defend your ambition. Just work, just grind, just stay focused, and let the results make the statement for you. Success is the loudest response to doubt. There is no need to argue with people who don't believe in you when you can show them why they were wrong. When you reach that level where your achievements are undeniable, those who once doubted you will either have to acknowledge your success or stay silent in their own embarrassment. Nothing shuts down negativity faster than undeniable results. People respect what they can see. They respect accomplishments, discipline, and consistency. Talk can be ignored, but results demand attention. When you are constantly progressing, when you are leveling up in silence, when you are focused on your